Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing, Chantal?
It's always such a pleasure being with you, Catherine. I really look forward to our shows, I must say. So I'm good. Happy Friday to you and all our viewers. And Carol, it's lovely to see you again, as always, in the chats. Yeah, interesting week, that's for sure. And I think it's quite a appropriate topic because I've been stuck this week for medical misinformation with one of my Spooky 2 interviews, the least offensive of the lot. But obviously, when we're talking about healing with frequencies and using your body and really getting people to empower themselves in a whole different way is, of course, very threatening to our dark brethren. So I'm not really surprised, actually. But yeah, so we've had some fun and games this week on Aquarius Rising, as well as solutions.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you so much, everyone, joining us. Hi, Carol. Hi, Amber. Don't be shy. Hi, Laurel. Hi, Dennis. Oh, it's so lovely to see you here. We feel like this is a big tea party. I've actually
Yeah.
had sod all
Well,
fun.
yeah, we're spilling some tea. Ching, ching.
I'm having my vitamin D, vitamin C, and zinc because, trust me, I am not getting a lot of vitamin D in the UK at the moment, although it's sunny now. But the reason I wanted to have this discussion again, it's something we've spoken about across, hi Jenny, across many of the months, really, many of the years we've been chatting to each other. The censorship issue. Now, obviously, because of the platforms we are on at the moment, we should be, I haven't checked, but we should be on Facebook, X, and YouTube. We have to be careful what we're saying. But there's a few things that have come up this week that have really triggered some new thoughts for me, and I wanted to discuss them with Chantal, because it's from my perspective, having someone, I was suffering from censorship, Chantal, long before I started a YouTube channel, because I've worked in holistic health for over 20 years. And before I sold in 2020, but I had a natural product shop, and I also did a lot of education for people and their animals on how to use a natural product. So I was always getting in trouble with the Veterinary Medical Board trading standards, because it's absolutely ironic that someone like Pfizer can go out and say it's safe and effective, and that's probably all I can get away with saying at the moment, and yet we can't say that milk thistle's good on the liver. However, I am going to throw a spanner in the works on this, which might upset a few people, that I also see a lot of the blind leading the blind, because just because something's natural doesn't mean it's safe. So all these amazing herbs, essential oils, supplements, healing technologies out there, but a little knowledge can be a dangerous thing. And I've seen so many groups where people have completely given some really dangerous information. So it's really fascinating to look at it from my more mature standpoint now, after all these years of speaking about it, and sort of say, okay, I can see on one point, if we didn't know what we were going on, or what we know now, I could see in some points the regulators have got a point, because there is a lot of misinformation going out on both sides. I'd love your thoughts on that, Chantal, and everyone in the chat.
Oh, well, I absolutely 100% agree with you on a little bit of information being dangerous, because I think, also I've been a healer and working with animals and natural health for also more than 20 years. So I have over time come across the most insane remedies, the most insane ideologies that just do not make sense for me. Although, having said that, I agree that there are probably a lot of people who think I'm insane.
Yeah.
But for me, it's been something, it's been something to understand when we're going from a very intellectual, brainwashed ideology, such as you need a pill for everything. You have to consult your doctor when you have a belly ache or whatever, because then there's a pill to fix that. From that to understanding your body is designed to heal itself. So I've also gone to great lengths over the years without medical assistance, but really through trial and error with myself. And it started off with a group of small students where I said, guys, this is what I see. This is what I understand. This is what I believe. Are you on board? I need to be your guinea pig. You need to be mine. And there was a group of about 12 of my students that originally we tried and tested this stuff on ourselves for years. And it's the same thing that I did, when I wrote my book for kids, the My Gaia book. I gave it to parents who had kids. I said, you guys have got to try this and test this and tell me what you think. Because it's something I've created from my own spirit. I was born understanding and knowing certain things. And there have been a lot of things that I've just brought. It's just things I know. I want to say maybe past life knowledge, whatever. Maybe you don't believe in that. I sure as heck do. But it's stuff that has come through for me, and it's tried and tested. Part of my purpose has been to take something extremely abstract and turn it into something very tangible for people to understand. And that's what I've been able to do. So when you say to me, why do I say this? I'm able to go back and say, well, this is why I say that. And that's what it matches to. So if you look at it like that, then that and that and that and that. So I've been able to put it into a perspective where it makes sense. But when we're talking about certain things that absolutely are I use the word new age loosely because I'm constantly being accused of being a new age witch and a new age groomer and God knows what all else. I'm none of the above, but I work with very ancient principles, and I probably use a modern day language for it, and I apply it. For me, it's really about the application of the teachings of Christ and some of the great masters, right? Out there. So having said that, for me, it makes sense what we say. And I'm not shy to say if I don't know something that I don't know. And then I will go and I will research and I'll look for it and I'll speak to people or whatever until click something in me goes, yes, that's right. Because I'm also gifted. I'm born with the helm, as they say in Afrikaans. So there's certain things in my inner being, I can see how they fit. When the piece of the puzzle fits, I can see it. When it doesn't, I can see that as well. So yes, I understand for some people that is maybe weird, unusual, but I also look at the results that we get from what we're doing, right? I see the results thereof, and that for me is what needs to work. But when I hear people very loosely throwing around these 12 strands of DNA and you this and that, I'm going, people, how can we even start thinking about the connecting all these DNA when you haven't even begun to work with your 3 strands of DNA yet? It's a process of getting there, and it's a process of taking steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever, to integrate, to heal, to look at, to inspect. And it's not just on one level. There are so many levels we need to look at. So yes, I understand that there's that, but there's also people flagrantly throwing things around, which they clearly have no idea what they're talking about.
Let's just come on to that a bit, because I really want to keep it on censorship really today, because the reason there's 2 sides to every argument, and we know actually there's 100 sides to look at this. It's not just black or white. There's all the different bits in between. But it's so fascinating. And Amber saying that she did a lot of experiment on herself. One of the things that I see in today's world is we know what's wrong. And the great thing is the starting point is often a lot of us know what's not, what we don't want. But equally, a lot of these natural healing things, a lot of these natural remedies do need careful use and careful research, because you can do harm with a lot of them if you do them wrong. And so one of the things is that whatever modality you're choosing, I find it frustrating that we place so heavily, by we, I mean as a so-called awakened community, sometimes place so heavily into the censors trap. Now, what made me want to talk about censorship today is there were a couple of really interesting things I saw. One of my lovely listeners sent me about what's happening with Liz Gunn, who's a lawyer and journalist in New Zealand. And I know you had a look at it, Shanti. And she's being very much, her and Barry Young. And Barry Young was a whistleblower in New Zealand that we spoke about quite a few months ago, where he really came out with all the, he was working for the government and he saw the data of the harm that the you-know-what was doing. And he was absolutely put in a terrible situation, because he needed to stay in his job long enough, even though he was so disgusted by the cover-up that he was seeing, to be able to collect enough data to release it. So they're having a really hard time and being really cracked down on. And Liz Gunn released a video this week. I think it was even yesterday. Wednesday. About how she's been threatened to be prosecuted, or her equipment taken away and everything. And I thought, wow, Chantel, we've seen this happen so many times, where there's some brave souls that really put everything on the line, and not enough people get back behind them when that happens. And then we've had your censorship, and both of us have had a lot of stuff taken down for various reasons, but medical misinformation, for stuff that we know really works. We've done the test ourselves. We've used the things. We're not just putting stuff out there to earn a quick buck. We're putting stuff out there because it's something we passionately believe in. And then on top of that, I saw this brilliant interview with Tucker Carlson, with the head of Telegram. Now, have you seen that interview?
I actually haven't, no, but I'd love to hear about it.
Let us know in the chat if anyone's seen that, because again, a lovely listener sent this to me, because I've been a bit too busy this week to look at it myself. Now, this was fascinating, Chantel. This guy is amazing. He's Russian. He moved to Italy when he was a child, and then they moved back to Russia again. And he developed basically a precursor of Facebook in Russia. Was in him and his brother. They're both geniuses. And then they got told, because they wouldn't hand over certain critical information to the authorities there, identifying people who were protesting against the government, protesting against Ukraine, they had to leave Russia, and then left Russia, and they set up Telegram, which is sort of the most unhackable. It's really fascinating. I'll put the link below afterwards for everyone, but you'll find it on Tucker Carlson's YouTube. But what really struck me about that, which was so incredible, was his level, these brothers' level of integrity. Because what they haven't done is they haven't sold out. They've used their creative genius, but like you were saying, with the healing modalities that people do, and they've really stuck to their guns, and they haven't given in to the pressure. Judith saw the Tucker and Telegram. It was amazing. And it's incredible when you see people like Barry Young, Liz Gunn, these people that I can't even remember his name. It's not even put in the title. And it was fascinating to see how much pressure he'd got from basically government organizations all around the world to try and get into his organization, see what he's doing. So he's faced so much backlash. So this censorship issue, it's so hard for all of us to avoid, isn't it? You want to get solutions out to people, but you can't. You then get people like Liz Gunn and Barry Young, who are really being hit hard in the legal system now in every way. That Liz has had her bank account frozen completely, like we know it happens to a lot. So the fight is really real. I've had my website taken down twice now without even telling me or anything, because of some videos related to a natural substance that I think is really effective. Where do we go from this? Where do you think we all go from this? How can we stand up more and support the ones that are not doing this?
You know, I want to just say, sort of backtrack into what I was saying earlier. So through doing what I've done, we learn to trust ourselves. And it's one of the things that is, in fact, the most important thing, is when we are in a place of personal power, where power is not, it's a place of personal knowing, personal understanding, where you are able to use discernment and, you know what you know. You don't need validation for that. So for me, the first thing is to know thyself. Because when you know yourself and you can understand what is right and what is wrong, you are able to then put things into perspective and follow the people or support the people that you know are really coming from a place of truth. You know, for me, until such time that we do that, we're always going to be in this place. Right now, we and I'm not saying just us, I'm saying there's a lot of us in this community that have got channels like this that are taking the hits on the chin, but we've got amazing supporters and we've got amazing viewers. We are the forerunners in this time, in this era, that we are breaking free from the matrix. More and more of us are breaking free from the matrix, and we're still in the minority. But, the more we carry on doing what we're doing, and the more we refuse to buckle down and say, okay, well, I'm not giving up because they did this to me 5 times and 10 times and what have you, then that's how long they're going to have that power. But there are those of us who are going to keep getting up, and keep creating the cracks in the matrix so that the light comes in and that the light shines out as well, and that we are able to then create these pathways for people. So at this stage, we are in that position. I mean, I'd like to think in 30 or 50 years' time, when my granddaughter is a grandmother herself, she will go, yeah, my grandma, she was one of the, trailblazers when it came to breaking free of the matrix. And it'll probably be, for that generation, it'll be something that is amazing because they won't even think about how it was for us, And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, yes, we are riddled with censorship. Yes, we have our videos struck. My channel was taken down. Not once, but twice.
Same here, twice.
Yeah. So it
keeps doing this. Have you seen this? Everyone's complaining about this. Something about StreamYard, when you do certain movements or something, things happen, and we don't know why, but I quite like the balloons. Sorry to interrupt your flow, but that was quite cool.
Yeah, I've seen that before, and I've wondered what the heck that is, and it looks awesome, though. It doesn't do it to me.
I don't know how to stop it or how it happened. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, and I think the more of us who share what's going on, even though we are told we're crazy, even though we are ridiculed, even though we are called cuckoo. I mean, I can't tell you the insults I've had in my life, relating to this sort of stuff. But I think we have to persevere and it's like, the overcomers and the survivors who we interview. And, that's been my main focus on Aquarius Rising Africa, is to interview. I mean, oh, guys, if you haven't watched Joanne Breeze's interviews yet, she's an Australian survivor. I had her on this morning. It absolutely, I was in tears after that show, and I was talking to her, just what these people have been through. And they're sitting in front of thousands now and sharing their shames, their griefs, this is the stuff that is going to make us a great society. This is the stuff that when we don't give up on each other, we're in a space now where, yes, we're lucky if we don't get hit. As I said to you, I was hit this week for, again, frequency medicine. Now, I know from my little machines how well that works. When you're looking at all the testimonials that are on my show when I promote the product, I know how well it works. And Dr. Bill McGraw was on my show earlier on this week. And by the way, it's still on X, Twitter, and the last I checked, it was still on Facebook. I'm not sure though. So if you guys want to go check Aquarius Rising Africa on Twitter, the shows that have been struck here. And also Kerry Saint from Australia. We were talking about the evil twins. They were doing these horrific not tests, but things with the twins not too long ago. And I mean that was blocked, earlier this week as well. So all of these things that they don't want coming out, they still have the power to block us, but we will not stop. The channels like Telegram will still have that. And what I want to say is, like, we should then actually promote doing stuff on Telegram. So maybe what we should do, instead of coming onto YouTube, is actually do a lot of interviews on Telegram in future.
Exactly my point and what I wanted to bring up today. So I haven't gone live on Telegram, and I'm not the most technically thing, but I'm going to work out, because I was so impressed with this guy and his integrity, that I'm going to suggest. So my links I've got 2 Telegram channels. They're linked below. Please join them, because I am going to start moving more of my content onto Telegram. Right. Rumble, I put the more controversial ones on Rumble, but I'm actually going to start putting it on Telegram, because it's really, really important that we support these platforms that are really everything
that is supporting. Rumble,
Yeah.
Odyssey, Telegram are the ones that I know. And actually, I mean, even though Facebook is owned by Zuckerberg, Facebook still allows more. I mean, I find, because I stream through Facebook as well, I find Facebook has kept some of that content on. But please, yes, I mean, every now and again I do Telegram chats. So please, guys, go and subscribe to Aquarius Rising Africa on Telegram as well as Rumble. And Facebook as well, because Facebook seems to keep it.
Because a couple of the times it hasn't let me stream to Facebook, but it is today. So what I would say is, if people, one of the things I think he's got some really good interaction and comments. I'm going to come to those in a minute. Thank you so much for being here. But I am going to put both below the video on whatever platform you're watching in the description box a link to 2 of my telegrams, Catherine Edwards Life and Catherine Edwards Health. There are a lot of imposters out there. There are a lot of imposters. The only 2 real ones are the ones linked below. And there is a spammer that comes on multiple times a day that puts a really obvious message. Oh, please go to this Telegram group. It is pretty obvious it's not written from me. So on all the Telegram groups, there are spammers. But we're going to be really going for that. So please do, anyone who's not to Telegram, because if you want a little bit more encouragement, go to Tucker Carlson on any of the platforms, look at his interview, and then make your own mind up for you. But for me, it was the final thing that was like, I've been thinking about doing it for ages, Chantel, and this was the final, yes, right, I'm going to really support this more. Because we've got to get these messages out there, and we've got to really, one of the things that sort of literally breaks my heart, whether it's on the medical side of things, whether it's the free energy, whether it's the energy medicine, whether it's the supplements that really work, whatever, whether it's the growing your own food without using all the harmful toxins, whether it's electroculture, is really now been really focused on supporting those people that are really, really putting themselves out there and giving us these tools, these resources, these platforms. It doesn't matter how big or small, you know, even how to keep your chickens healthy naturally. You know, every single thing that's helping us move us forward, not take us back, because it's so easy, particularly when so many people are going through so much financial struggle at the moment, to really take your money back. And there's so many things out there. Like, you've got the spooky too. I've got bioresonance. You can see them on my YouTube channel, where this one, you don't have to connect into the internet, you don't have to connect into Bluetooth, and these people have literally put their life savings and life works to getting these wonderful solutions out there for us, and there are many. So it doesn't matter what you go for, but sort of taking that power back and supporting them in whatever way you can, I think is so important.
I fully agree with you there. And I love the idea. And I think maybe what we should do, Catherine, you and I, is do a talk on Aquarius Rising Africa on Telegram one of these fine, beautiful days, even an intro talk. I think it's really, really cool to grow our Telegram channels. We can't do it visually. It's all done with, but that's actually really cool as well. You can do it in the middle of the night with eyes like this. You don't have to.
Because my hair, honestly, I'm going for hairdressers often. I'm sick of getting windblown and sopping wet, and then trying to look presentable on camera. So doing a voice one would suit me beautifully. Yeah. So who's with us?
Exactly.
Who's going to join our Telegram channels and come and support and build beautiful? So you've got Aquarius Rising Africa on Telegram.
Yes, I'm Aquarius Rising Africa on Telegram, so please check it out as well. I generally post my stuff on there, and I've got a great guy, Brock from the Sarah 17 as well, who helps me with that. Yeah, and Dennis, I like what you said. Please remember, we're only in the beginning. That's exactly what I'm saying. We're the forerunners in breaking through this matrix. And as long as, and it's not, you know, we might be sitting here publicly talking and maybe taking the hits on the chin. I've no doubt that every one of our, publicly that is, every one of our viewers on your channel, on even Bryce's channel, on my channel, everyone, you know, everyone, I hear, you know, so many people are saying, I think it was Carol that was saying earlier on in the chat, that obviously, you know, having these beliefs, everyone calls you crazy. And my own child calls me a conspiracy theorist, and he won't believe a word I say because I'm a conspiracy. And I'm like, whatever, dude, just poof, poof, you know, like, yes, mom, but you know what? You can't tell me Nelson Mandela. You can't just show me photos of Nelson Mandela in his Knights of Malta outfit or whatever robe, and then tell me he's in secret societies. He says, show me proof. I said, well, that should be the beginning of the proof for you.
I might dress up as a squirrel or a fox, or I've been known to dress up as Shaun the Sheep, but I've never dressed up as that, and there's a good reason. And oh my God, I so love you say this, because I had the most bizarre conversation with a group of friends, and they're lovely, these friends. Okay, so I'm, you know, they really are lovely people, but they're the same age as me. So we have grown up with lots of fluffy clouds in the sky. And yes, if you go back to your geography and your science, there's lots of different types of clouds, but there's never crisscross straight line clouds. And if anyone follows the flight paths of the crisscrosses, if they were seriously all the flights, I mean, what the hell? They'd be crashing into the earth at every, you know, it's just ludicrous to think those are...
Contrails only stay for like 10 or 15 minutes anyway. They don't stay for hours and hours in the sky.
Exactly. And then you've got what's happening in Dubai at the moment. And I'm smiling when I say to people, I'm one of these people that my whole life I've got myself into a lot of trouble by laughing and smiling at inappropriate times. And it's a nervous laughter. So when my sister got married for the first time, and I just knew it was not going to work out, the whole way through the wedding, I was just in hysterics of nervous laughter, and I just couldn't stop. And it just was awful because I just knew this was a big mistake. And everyone that, oh my God, everyone was staring at me. I was in so much trouble. And at school, I was always being sent out the room for laughing inappropriately. So when I'm saying about the cloud seeding and the weather modification, and we're seeing it in Dubai, and how they're all talking about cloud seeding, they're saying it, and then you still have these conversations with highly intelligent people who are saying, oh, there's no such thing as where it's all global warming, and you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I have no words. You know, when you just want to be like a woodpecker and go and bang your head. I don't know what else to show people to say. So, you know, this morning we woke up, actually it's just come back out again, we had beautiful clouds, and then all the crisscrosses come, and an hour after the crisscrosses it's grey everywhere, all the sun's blocked out, and actually now it's just come back again. So I think this lovely energy has cleared it. But you know, with the censorship, I think we do have to keep being creative. I know it annoys a lot of people with the code words, but we still have to be on some of these censored platforms. Otherwise, we're never going to start planting those seeds of information for other people. And I think this is where the fine line goes. You know, that in today's society, I don't know what you think, Chantal, but it's impossible. If we were to avoid every corrupt company, we couldn't communicate with each other at all. None of us would be on Apple iPhones. None of us would be on on this platform.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, but at the end of the day, I also believe that whatever is put out there, we can use to our advantage. You know, and anything in moderation. Technology in itself is not bad, but when we overuse it and abuse it, that's when it becomes a problem. Your cell phone in itself is not bad, right? But when you're constantly sitting on it 24/7 and getting no balance in your life, that's when it becomes a problem. Same thing. I mean, Netflix, I mean, yes, okay, we can say, well, they're owned by this and this and this. That's fine. I enjoy some of the things that Netflix puts out there. I'm not a great watcher of Netflix, but every now and again, when I want to just be brain dead and not think about anything else, I'll watch a 8-part series over the weekend, right? So when you're binging and that's all you do, that's when it becomes an issue. Everything in moderation, you know, let's use what these guys give us. Let's use the platforms they give us, even if they are censored, because as you say, we're going to be planting seeds there. Yeah. But let us mostly, and let's plant the seeds for platforms like Telegram, for platforms like Odyssey, for platforms like BitChute, right? And who knows? There are amazing youngsters out there at the moment that don't come from our generation, where all we did in class was write notes for into airplanes and zoom them across the class, right?
Yeah.
These kids are literally born with the techno gene. I'm telling you, I kid you not. So there are amazing kids out there right now that are also coming, and we have to believe this. Not everything is bad at all. Technology in itself, when we look at the Lucy's and how they've absolutely stolen and abused and signed contracts with whoever the dodgy dark ones are, that's fine. Let's use that to our advantage, because everything is from God, in my opinion, right? So there are amazing youngsters coming in today who are brilliant, 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 who I've no doubt will create something that will rival YouTube in no time whatsoever.
Yeah.
And completely knock YouTube off its socks, right? And that are not, who are learning that money is not everything. Because why do these people sell out? They sell out for money, right? It's always money, 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 money. How many countries have been sold out? Africa has been sold out for money. Every country has been sold out for money. When we realize that when the last animal has taken its breath, the last tree has been chopped down, you cannot eat the dollar bill. It's that simple. So hopefully we're going to get to that point of realizing there are beautiful kids, new generation, and coupled with us old generations, us oldies, right, who still do things in the old way, right, that this is a beautiful earth. There's so much more to living in a high-rise building in New York and having millions and going jet skiing every day, or whatever it is. I mean, I don't even know what these rich people do. I love my ocean. I love my swims in the sea, but when we can connect and humanity, we are each other's tribe, animals, nature, and yes, technology, so that we can have conversations like this with each other literally across the world. I think it's beautiful that we can do that. And thank you, YouTube, that I can do that, Thank you that it's provided me a platform. But do we like what it does when it's with censorship? No. So let's find another way. I'm always saying, let's find another way. If this way is not working, then let's find a way that does work. And there are always other ways.
Yeah, completely. Well said. Let us know any questions you've got in the comments, because we've got about another 10 minutes. So if you've got any questions for us, don't be shy. I can answer the ones that aren't obscene. But no, it does give you real hope. It gives you real hope when you see a lot of people that are opening themselves up to new ideas now. I've also, I've sort of attracted some really interesting sort of information, and some of it was on the Law of One, a really good interview I watched about that this week. And I think, one of the things it was saying is on the planet as we are now, we are third density beings, which is, you've got dark and light, you've got the contrast there, and therefore to not try and bury the contrast and get rid of it, but try and transmute it and use it in a good way.
Absolutely.
So it's very fascinating to see what's happening, and it's nice when you've got platforms like Tucker Carlson now that are actually getting these messages out to people, because we've heard, so even Tucker said in the interview, he said, well, I heard that Telegram was a Russian owned, and it's like, well, no, I had to leave Russia to do that. And these two brothers have had to live all over the world to finally settle in UAE, I think it is, where the government aren't constantly trying to shut them down. And also some of these platforms I don't watch a lot, but I watched I think it was at the weekend, The Constant Gardener. Have you seen The Constant Gardener?
No, but it sounds very familiar.
You'd love it. It's all about corruption in Africa, about the vaccines. I can't say any more than that. I don't want to ruin it for everyone. Watch it. Absolutely brilliant. But you see,
is it on Netflix?
No, it was on Amazon, I think. But you can probably get it elsewhere. But I'm useless. I don't know where to find them. But my son found it for me. But it was absolutely brilliant. And the whole way through, I was driving my husband mad. So I was going like, this is true. This is true. This is true. And it was. And I've seen Ray Fiennes in a couple of films now. We talked a few months ago about the one I saw her about the British lady who was a whistleblower. I can't remember the name of it. Will come to me in a minute. So there's a few real whistleblowing films that he's done that are really like, oh my God, yes, it really is all out there in plain sight. So we can get some good information out on these things as well as the corrupt stuff. But, you know, for anyone really still caught in that world where they think the governments are trying to do their best to stop child trafficking and things, then if they could take down something like that straight like this, for one, pick that up straight away, they can jolly well find all the other stuff that's going on the dark web, etc.
Absolutely. And I want to just say, speaking about corruption in Africa, I don't know if you guys caught my interview with John Perkins a few weeks back. He's the author. He was spent 70 weeks on the New York Times #1 bestseller list. I don't know if it's #1, but on the bestseller list with his book, Confessions of an Economic Hitman.
Oh,
wow.
My son's got that book. I must borrow that off him. Yeah.
Brilliant. I did an interview with him, I think 2 weeks ago, and he's coming on again in 2 weeks' time. And he was an economic hitman, where he was hired, obviously, by the American CIA, and they go to third world countries where they've corrupted. And I mean, one of the things that really blew my mind was the American how they got into Saudi Arabia and their influence in bringing Saudi Arabia to the third world, and not the third world, the first world, right? But fascinating. And, you know, and now as I said, I'm speaking to him again in 2 weeks' time. And now he talks about the Chinese that are the new economic hitman and how they've actually surpassed America, because you know what the Chinese do? They'll watch everyone and they'll actually better you on everything.
Right? Exactly. So, I mean, the absolute masters of that. Yeah.
And also what I'm loving about him is John must be in his 70s now, right? But the transformation he's made in his life. And they also try to poison him after writing that book. But the transformation and how he works with a lot of the native tribes, going to the Amazon, the Incas, the Mayan, and all of these things. So it's just amazing to me how people like that, you know, in my opinion, you know, there's a divine reason why amazing souls like that go into this dark world, because they often have the courage those are the ones, not often, those are the ones that have the courage to come out of it and share their story. And despite the threats, the attempts on their lives, I mean, he had to have just about his whole intestine removed because he was poisoned. So, you know, how these guys try and take him out afterwards for sharing these secrets. So, and it's not irrelevant. I mean, he was there in the 1970s, so there's nothing irrelevant, because now it's boomed even more. But he was one of the original trailblazers who also started sharing that story. So, an amazing human being. I've known about him for a very long time, and
I would love an introduction. I shouldn't I'm saying this out loud now. I'll tell you why, Chantel. I won't go into too much details on here, but there's certain friends and family members that would really respect healing from someone like John, because they know and they've read his book. And I think it would be absolutely, I just love it. I love the bravery that these humans show. I just think it's phenomenal.
Well, I tell you what, why don't you read his book?
I will.
And then we do an interview with him together. I'll set up the three of us together. Yeah, let's do that.
Because when people like this, you know, there's so many experts, and I'm not talking about trust the experts. There's so many real life experts in every walk of life that you see. It's absolutely beautiful to see. You know, it doesn't matter. The people I've met over the last few years, whether it's on the water that's with no water shortages, whether it's on free energy, whether it's on frequency medicine, whether it's on the natural healing, whether it's on the political side of things, whether it's on the financial side of things, you know, on every single area, there's these people that really have been there, done that. They really do know what they're talking about, and they're prepared to put everything on the line to do it. And it's so, yeah, absolutely. I'm putting that one on the screen. I mean, absolutely. And I think for me, when I saw the Liz Gunn, and I was so grateful to my listener for sending me that interview because I missed that, and I just felt her. It's so heartwarming because, well, it's not heartwarming, it's heart chilling actually. And she's literally saying that they've taken my bank account, they've taken everything, they're just about to come and take all my equipment. And I just thought, God, we have got to get behind these people. We'll support them in any way we can, because they're the ones that are literally putting their neck on the line for the rest of us.
Absolutely. I think it's wonderful that, exactly. I love whistleblowers. I love them. And I don't care what anyone says, what they've done. I mean, I know Caleb, for example, is one of my favorite, absolutely one of my favorite guests as well, because when you look at what someone like him has been through, and they come out, and I mean, with a wad of cash on his head, right, as a hit, they're still coming out. And they are, you know, it's, and I mean, and again, how many, I mean, Jessie, how many threats has she had? How many times has she had attempts and stuff on her? I mean, they took the life of her child not long ago, you know. People, you know, they're amazing. Kathy O'Brien, I know you've also been, Kathy O'Brien is just phenomenal. Is she coming back with you on Monday? Yeah, she's so cool. I did an interview with her this past Saturday. And wow, what a special woman. So, you know, people like that, these are the people we must be supporting, you know. And what I love about them is they just come from the heart. There's no religious indoctrination, and it's just heart stuff. It's coming from the heart. And, you know, and that's why, you know, John Perkins especially says, you know, I saw an interview where someone was giving a really hard time and said, well, do you think you deserve that after everything you did? And he looked at the guy and he said, well, does anyone deserve that? No one deserves that, you know. And then you look at, you know, because obviously he's got a daughter and everything, and that was the big reason, you know, and always a good woman in their life that actually make them, or it was often, right? Or a man, I guess, as well. You know, I'm just like sticking up for the tricks here. Or is a good woman that sort of retunes the ear or something like that. But it's amazing how people like that who've been in these dark places will come out and they rise above that fear and they come and share with us the truth. And yes, right now we are in the minority. There's not even a question. And you know what? I like it this way, Catherine, because it makes us realize that we are the leaders in what we're doing. We will open the paths for our ancestors to follow. I'm not just saying you and I and a few select ones, everyone that supports our channel, everyone that's there all the time watching and supporting us and encouraging us, because I tell you, there are days where you get into your email box and everyone nah, and the judgment and the criticisms and the this and the that. It's not easy. It's far from easy. And your channel's been struck, your video's been struck, and YouTube's onto you, and you know, it's hectic. It's hectic, and you just got to get up and do it and continue to do it. But it's good. It's a wonderful thing to do.
And we all know about the hungry monkey effect, and that works. We're all sending out stuff into the ether, the divine matrix, whatever you want to call it. And this is the beauty of it, is we just keep talking about it. We talk about it. As you said right at the start, we don't need to know everything. It's fine to say you don't know. But equally, each time we sort of step more into this. And I think the censorship for me is, I've really grown over the last couple of years, Chantel, in terms of basically understanding that the whole purpose about censorship is you have to be able to let other people that have a completely different approach to you, completely different belief systems to you, have their voice as well. And this is what so many people miss, is that you can't say no one's going to censor. Well, you can say it, but it's not going to get you very far energetically. No one's going to censor me, but I'm going to censor their opinions. You know, the whole point is if we genuinely are authentically anti-censorship, we have to let everyone have their say and trust enough that people are tuning into their intuition to take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And I still think we've got to be much more open to that in this community, to not shut down, and also to allow respectful discussions to go on with people that we do have very different belief systems with.
I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more with you. And it's, everyone has their opinion. Everyone deserves their voice. Everyone deserves to hear what others are saying. Hello, Jessica. Nice to see you.
I always call you Huntress, not by your name. So hi. Yeah.
Well, there's another trailblazer, the Cryptid Huntress. I've loved having you on my show.
Thank you so much for that. That means a lot. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We love this community. We absolutely love it. I am going to say, though, if anyone tries to convince me fox hunting's good, then no, I'm not listening ever.
I'll never listen to any hunting. Never. I never want to be a hunter. No one that kills animals. No thanks. I've seen enough of that in my life.
But I do know to laugh at my biases. I do accept that I have some very strong biases, so I admit to it. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. So my call to action for anyone watching this today is, Chantel, send me your Telegram channel link, because I've got to dash off to an appointment.
I will.
And I will put it below this video. My 2 Telegram ones, I nearly went to the censors. 2 Telegram channels are in the link below. Those are the only real ones. There's so many imposters, it's ridiculous. Or just searching for Sasquatch. I'll tell you what, I am coming searching with you, because I think that Sasquatch and I would get on really well. I think we could communicate really well. So I really want to come out. I'm just not on any more planes at the moment. I'm just not.
Jessica, well, I'm coming to search for a lot more than Sasquatch with you.
Yeah, I just love it. I love all these mystical creatures.
I'm going to find those freaking werewolves.
We've got them here. We've got lots of werewolves over here. We've got the original. Actually, come over here and do a Hound of the Baskervilles hunt. I think that would be fantastic. But yeah, thank you so much for everyone, in all seriousness, for watching. Please join our Telegrams, because Chantel and I are going to start going live on both our Telegram channels more.
Yeah, we're going to be doing that for sure.
Sharing lots of really good information, and, in all our ways that we can, let's just really stand up and support those people that are really fighting against the censorship, like Julian Assange, like Liz Gunn, like Barry Young, like all the people that we've spoken about, and Kathy O'Brien and everyone else, and we will get there. We are getting there. Chantel, because we're on your channel next week. So Solutions with Aquarius Rising Africa next Friday afternoon. Come join us.
Indeed. And let's keep praying for these new little whiz kids to create another channel, something like YouTube, because YouTube is very good. Let's acknowledge that they've certainly got the majority of the marketplace. But let's make sure, or let's pray for a little whiz kid or whatever to create a platform that rivals this, so that we can go on and there is no censorship and we can speak what we choose to speak, because that's really important. But thank you so much. Yeah, Catherine, thank you. I'm going to send you my Aquarius Rising Telegram channel. And guys, catch us there, and we will definitely be doing more on those channels. It's been my intention. I've been speaking about it for...
So have I. I haven't quite worked to do it, but you can teach me.
Well, now's the time. So, let's do it.
Thank you so much, everyone, to join us.
God bless everybody.
Really appreciate every single one of you for sharing your energy with us, and we will be back next week. Take care, everyone.
Bye. Cheers, guys.
Bye.